Welcome, everybody, to Sound Off Sports in our new look, new room, new venue. Yes, the Den at FOX5 Las Vegas. This is exciting stuff. You don't want to miss it. Brand new show. It's a new era for SOS. Let's do this thing. SOS starts right now.
Make some noise. This is Sound Off Sports, sponsored by Sam and Ash.
I am so excited to say this. I mean, look at this, James. We are in our brand new studio, the Den at FOX5 Las Vegas. It's going to be a whole new show. I mean, the show was good before, James, but
feel a lot different.
But now this show is going to be taken to a whole nother level. We're going to be talking about sports, of course, and we're going to be kicking off everything because we asked you guys at home, basically, Coach Prime, we got to talk, and we said, do you think Deion Sanders could turn around the Colorado Buffaloes season? Is he the right man for the job? The way I wanted to pose it, James, was, is he a better coach or is he a better marketer? But let's first hear what people at home had to say. So once again, we asked everybody, do you think Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, is a good fit and can turn around the Colorado Buffaloes football season this year?
This first one is from Samuel Smith. He says, I believe in him. If my best friend Kevin Price can turn an all-girls 5th grade phys ed floor hockey team into third period champions, then Deion Sanders can do the same for his football team.
What's the name of that guy? Kevin Price?
This is Samuel Smith. His friend who's leading this all-girls 5th grade phys ed floor hockey team in third period is named Kevin Price.
Yeah, that is one of the all-time responses we've gotten here on
good.
Sound Off Sports. I mean, here's the thing about Deion Sanders. They're relevant. Now, there's a distinction between relevance and being good. Those are two different things, James. So, listen, has Coach Prime made Colorado a relevant football organization where nobody was thinking about them? Yeah. Sure. We haven't heard anything about them since Eric Bieniemy was a running back there.
Exactly.
And, so he's made them relevant. That was job one. Job two is to get some wins.
Actually, nobody's going to the football field.
Yes, because nobody's going to care about the relevance anymore if they're not winning.
Correct.
So I think he's done a good job, and he was tasked with making a football team relevant, which is not easy when nobody's talking about it. So I don't want to just jump over like, oh, okay, like he's getting all this press because now a Denver Post columnist can't, talk to him and all this stuff, and we'll get into that. But at the same time, we got to remember he really did make Colorado football extremely relevant and the story of the college football season last year.
He put them on the map, right? Because, as you mentioned, last season, at this time, all anybody wanted to talk about was Colorado football. And before Coach Prime had gotten there, come over from
Jackson State.
Was it Jackson State? Yeah. I almost said Jacksonville State. Came over from Jackson State. They were the biggest story in college football. Colorado football, who before that, you heard nothing about. I didn't know anything about the Colorado Buffaloes. I didn't know anything about Folsom Field. How cool of a school, how cool of a football program it actually can be until Coach Prime got there.
And now here's my question, and this is the question I want to pose to the audience, because this is really what I thought we should have asked everybody at home is he a better coach or is he a better marketer? And those are two different things. And in today's college football landscape with NIL, with transfer portal, with all these things, being a good marketer, that actually stands for something, And it's kind of like, I think Nick Saban was a tremendous coach, but he was also a great recruiter. It's kind of like the John Calipari thing in college basketball. But the question is Deion Sanders a better marketer or a better coach? And at this juncture, I would have to say he's a better marketer.
I don't think that's even a question. I think, of course, he's a better marketer. But that's okay. You can do that. You know what I mean? Where Deion Sanders has a lot of potential as a head coach because of, for lack of a better word, the clout he brings to the position, right? He has so much potential as a recruiter, and he shows that off. Cleans up in the transfer portal. 2023 had the number one recruiting class. Number one transfer portal recruiting class. Had brought in 52 recruits. That was the most by far. 2024 this year, number 8 transfer portal recruiting class, brought in 43 recruits. That's most by far. The problem is, that's all he does, it seems, is he only does transfer portal recruiting.
And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
I think what scares a lot of Colorado fans is they feel like because he's only recruiting out of the transfer portal, they fear that he's just going to leave once Fedor and Shiloh are gone, that he's not building something that can be stable for years and years to come, which
he might not be
is what happens with high school recruiting.
He might not be building a program, but it's a great point you bring up, James, because here's the deal. From last year to this year, 44 transfers on this football team. It's the most in FBS, meaning you need a little bit of a foundation. You need a little turnover to create a culture, to create a locker room. You need that kind of stuff. So just having people in and out the door constantly is not a great thing. And here's my other concern. We know about Travis Hunter, the great dual player who's he's like a Babe Ruth or a Shohei Ohtani. He's playing both sides of the field. He's playing corner and wide receiver. Incredible stuff. So we got that with Travis Hunter. We know his son, Shedeur Sanders, is going to be an incredible bona fide quarterback, probably even at the next level. Both Travis Hunter and Shedeur are going to be top 10 NFL picks, we can assume. Yeah. The question is, after skill positions, what's going on the line? Because let's remember what football is all about.
Issue for them last
when
year.
we go to Georgia, when we go to Auburn, when we go to all these SEC schools, Alabama, it's about what's happening in the trenches. It's about what's happening on that O-line, that D-line. Is he getting recruits to come to Colorado to play for him, the people who really know what football is?
I think what the question is, can Colorado turn this around? Can Coach Sanders turn this around next year? They have the weapons. They have Shedeur Sanders, who I think is the best quarterback in college football. They have Travis Hunter, who's the best two-way player in the game. Both going to be top 10 picks, as you mentioned. But what's going on with the O-line? It was a huge problem for them last year in the Pac-12. And granted, the Big 12 isn't known for its physicality up front, but Shedeur was running for his life. And is it going to be just the same old? Because if it is, I'm not sure they're going to have more than 6 wins.
Coming up next, it's the fastest growing sport in the U.S. Of course, it's pickleball. PPA for the first time. It's a very big deal. It's all happening at the Fontainebleau. We're going to be talking about that next. Stick around. All right, welcome back to SOS, everybody. So I am here right now with the Senior Vice President of Entertainment, Fontainebleau, Las Vegas, Fedor Banuchi, one of my favorite people in all Las Vegas. Fedor, pickleball. Everybody can't stop talking about it. My mom is obsessed with it. She begs me to play day in, day out. You guys are officially the first place that's going to actually have on the Las Vegas Strip a major professional pickleball cup. It's called the Pickleball Cup. It's a 3-year stint that you guys are involved in. Why was pickleball part of the experience? Why did you feel this is what Fontainebleau, Las Vegas needs to bring to the Strip?
Mike, it's great to see you again. Just like your mom, I think everybody's mom wants pickleball. So what choice do we have if all the moms want to play pickleball, right? So we're going to give it to them. I think, look, we're a new resort. Fontainebleau, historically stands for entertainment and all things new. And being the newest luxury resort on the Strip, we wanted to align ourselves with the biggest and the best. And pickleball is the fastest growing sport in the world. It's everywhere. I went to my local Target. There was a giant pickleball.
Yes, they have all this gear there now.
Everywhere, right? So you can't escape it. There's a lot of people here on the team that play. And we were fortunate enough through ownership to have a relationship with the PPA, which is the Professional Pickleball Tour, and they have the largest amount of professional pickleball players under contract, including, I believe, the men's and women's number 1 and number 2 in the world. So, aligning together with them was great, and we're really looking forward to developing this relationship and having this cup be here for years to come.
What is it about the sport that you've seen just from excitement? What do you think is calling so many people to this new sport?
Well, I think I was fortunate enough to watch the pros yesterday when they were doing some qualifying in a part of the room. And when you watch it, I think people have this in their mind, an idea of pickleball being sort of a lazy afternoon sport, which I think, to be honest, why is it picking up? I think that is one of the reasons. Everybody can play it. It's sort of easy. It doesn't require as much footwork. But at the professional level, I would it's more of like Olympic ping pong in my mind, where like you watch that and you're like, that is not something that normal people do. I mean, the ball's going back really quickly. They're doing top spin, force spin, the whole 9 yards.
All right, Fedor, Banuchi, go check out Pickleball Cup going on. It's Pickleball happening here at Fontainebleau, Las Vegas. First time ever on the Las Vegas Strip, and we got it for the next 3 years. Thanks so much, Fedor, for spending some time.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Sound Off Sports. James, you and I have been going at it, head to head. I mean, we've been almost taking each other's heads off immediately after the Dr. Feinberg Invitational Draft at Circa last weekend. Jason Feinberg's annual league that he always does, Circa. It's an incredible place to host a fantasy football draft party. It was so much fun, but I was zagging when everybody else was zigging in this draft, and I felt pretty good about how my team turned out at the end of the draft. But my buddy, one of my best friends, my producer, my guy who's my partner in crime, James Edward Barrickman IV, he was disgusted. He thought I was inept. He thought I was out of my mind. And let me mind you, I won this league. I won this league 2 years ago. I kind of know a little bit about fantasy football. Tell everybody at home why you were so upset with my team, because we did pose this to the audience at home as well on social media.
I never once said that you were inept. I never once said that you were out of your mind. I know you as a great fantasy football mind.
Yes.
And I think that's part of why I was so upset with what you did here.
What did I do?
Let's take a look at this draft, right?
So we posted on social media on FOX5 Las Vegas. We posted my draft, Jason Feinberg's draft, as well as James's draft. 3 different lists there, and we got a response from one person. From
Heather Reddy.
Heather Reddy. Now, Heather did...
She knows ball. Heather Reddy. She knows ball.
Heather said the best team was James. Yep. Who knows? She said number 3. But let's talk a little bit about how the draft fell, because I was selecting at number 4. You were selecting at...
Number 2.
Number 2. And Jason Feinberg was at number 12. So, weird year. Listen, let's just kind of give a brief overview of what's happening in fantasy football this year. In traditional leagues like this one, PPR, where you're getting a point per reception, wide receivers are highly valued. There's not a lot of running backs it's not a deep position this year. There's just not a lot of singular workhorse bell cow running backs anymore. It's mostly running back by committee in the NFL. So if you can get a top tier one, that's a big deal. But wide receivers deep, tight ends deep, and it's all about value. That's what fantasy football is about. It's about value and not reaching when everybody else is trying to fill out their lineup. I felt like during this draft, everybody's just going through the motions trying to say, okay, I need a tight end, I need a wide receiver, I need a running back. And they're just like going through filling their roster rather than saying, okay, wait, let me take a look at the landscape. You're telling me Malik Neighbors is still on the board. Why am I going to reach for, DeAndre Swift right now, where I can get a potentially top 20, top 5, top 10 wide receiver?
I know that you're all about value, and value is a great thing in fantasy football. You need to look at that sort of thing. What you took value and took it somewhere where it's not supposed to be. You were all about value to a fault. Let's look at this roster here. Okay. You took Bijan at what, 4?
I took Bijan Robinson at number 4.
And can we go back here to the first overall pick was Breece Hall.
Right. Dave Hall.
Bananas.
Took Breece Hall. That was a shocker. Derek Stevens, owner of Circa, was there to make the call. It was a very exciting moment. But Breece Hall went number 1, meaning at number 2, you got a gift. Santa Claus came to Circa to give you a present, James.
I got Christian McCaffrey at number 2 of a fantasy football draft this year. And if you follow fantasy football, if you're getting Christian McCaffrey at 2, that's a gift from heaven.
Yeah, so you got Christian McCaffrey. Then 3 was Tyreek Hill.
That sounds right.
So Tyreek Hill goes number 3. And then I was in this predicament. This is prior to CeeDee Lamb getting his contract extension. I don't typically love rooting for the Cowboys as a Philadelphia guy who loves the Eagles, so I probably wasn't going to go that direction anyway. But I kind of was thinking maybe Amon-Ra St. Brown, a solid guy who he's in the same system, same quarterback. He's always going to give you consistency. So I was thinking about him. Justin Jefferson, I love, but I'm scared of the quarterback situation. Kirk Cousins is in Atlanta. Sam Darnold's the QB. What's the deal there? And then, Jamar Chase, he's out. He's been holding in, not partaking in any training camp or practice or anything like that because he wants a contract extension. And we got to worry about Joe Burrow's wrist. So tons of question marks there. I figured, you know what? I'm going to go Bijan Robinson. He's got a new offensive coordinator in Zach Robinson coming from LA with the Rams with Sean McVay, who we all know what Sean McVay does with his running backs and all that stuff. So we love Zach Robinson. Raheem Morris knows Bijan really well, wants to give him the ball, knew him even prior to his rookie season, as I interviewed Bijan last year on Sound Off. So I'm big on Bijan this year, so I took him there, and you have no problems with that.
I love Bijan at 4. I probably, if I was in that 3 spot, probably would have taken Bijan over Tyreek.
Okay, so we're okay there. Yeah. Here's where the narrative changes for James.
So you take Bijan at 1. At 1.4, I should say, the 4th overall pick of the draft. And then you don't take another running back until the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, until the 8th round.
Now, why did I do that? Why did
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds without taking a running back after you took Bijan?
We don't need Watson or Sherlock Holmes here to explain why I didn't do this. Because explain the picks that I took. As it goes, the draft order goes all the way down, and then it comes back, and then who did I take?
It's a snake. It's a snake.
So
you take Marvin Harrison Jr., good pick at 2. I'm fine with that. You come around for your 3rd pick, you take Cooper Kupp. Your 4th pick, you went with Malik Neighbors.
Okay.
While there was an Aaron Jones or Ramondre Stevenson still on the board.
So you're telling me I should take Ramondre Stevenson? Probably the Patriots are going to be the worst team in the NFL.
I'm saying that there's an argument to be made. I wouldn't have taken Malik Neighbors just because I love Malik Neighbors' talent, right? No question about it.
Right.
I think he's the most talented rookie wide receiver
more than Marvin
in
Harrison
the NFL. And yes, 100%.
Wow.
I don't trust Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones. I don't trust that guy to get anybody the football, and that's like, when you're looking at it from a fantasy perspective, I'm leaning away from Malik Neighbors, at least until he gets a new quarterback. So you go with Malik Neighbors with your 4th overall pick. You still don't go with a running back with your 5th round pick, and you go with Michael Pittman.
Stud.
There was a DeAndre Swift and a James Conner still on the board at that time. We come around for your 6th round pick. We still are not taking a running back.
Because who is available?
Tank Dell, who
Stud.
You took the Texans' 3rd wide receiver.
We don't know
Their
how
number
that's going
3
to play
wide
out.
receiver.
He might have a better year than Stephon Diggs.
He might
have a better year than Nico Collins. We don't know how that's playing
He might,
out.
but there are a lot of mouths to feed in that offense, right? Okay. So we come around to your 7th pick, quarterback Anthony Richardson.
Quarterbacks are going off the
Still
board.
not going for a running back. You didn't have a
quarterback. A lot of people have him as potentially finishing as the number 1 quarterback in fantasy. Listen, fantasy
now
football
at this point,
is all. Fantasy football it's all about trying to win. You play the win. You're not playing to like, ooh, I want a nice, quiet, solid team that's going to get me over the hump every week. Blah 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 blah. No, it's about trying to win. You want to go big or go home. That's what fantasy football is about. Sound Off Sports will be right back. I want to talk a little bit about this exciting development here. We keep mentioning it. We're here in the den at Fox 5 Studios. Show feels different. Show looks different. It's exciting stuff because, listen, we're really trying to get to you guys wherever you are. You know, whether it's in your car, your commute, taking out the trash, walking the dog. We want to make sure you're able to hear us and see us. So this show now, Sound Off Sports, is going to be totally different. We're going to be a podcast. We're going to be a full show, as you can tell, on TV, Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. When we air on Friday nights, we're a little bit more of a shorter, condensed version of ourselves. We got to fit into that half-hour block. So now we're going to be a full show. If the show warrants an hour and a half conversation of me and James arguing, we'll do that. If it warrants 2.5 hours of doing that, we'll do that. We're going to have guests in the studio. It's going to be a totally different feel. So the big thing is Friday nights, like usual, check your local listings. 5.2, Cox Channel 125. That's the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. So our Friday nights there, our usual show. But you got to make sure you're following us on social. You're checking us out on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts, because this full show, that's going to be there. So you can listen in the car, listen on your commute, listen while you're running, walking the dog, whatever you want to do, we're going to be there for you.
I mean, just look at this room. Man.
It's gorgeous.
It fits what the show is. We talked about this all the time. This is a little bit of a better space for what we want to do. And shout out to our production and engineering team. Clap it up for them one time.
Great people.
They
Andy, Ryan, Doug, so many great people. Jeff, Nanelle, Daphne, so many great people who really made this vision happen. Mike Core, we got to thank our big boss, man. It's a great vision. Listen, I've been here for 5 years here at Fox 5, and I was here at the old podcast room. I started the first podcast here, and we're on the come up, baby.
I'd say this is a little bit of an upgrade.
This is
from the old podcast room.
This is like as big of an upgrade as it reminds me of like a Keon Coleman to like a Malik Neighbors, like that big
Here we go.
That big of an upgrade.
I'm out of gas on that argument.
Listen, everybody, thank you so much for always tuning in with us. We're hoping you're loving this new vibe, this new look, this new feel. We're excited to be here with you. And James, I usually have to host Sin City Beat, before this show now, but I'm going to try to come in and look cool like you. Like, I'm going to try to be a little more youthful.
A little more casual.
I'm going to try that. So you don't know what you're going to see. Yeah, wear a hoodie.
Yeah, Bill Belichick. Cut the sleeves off.
We'll do that, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. We always love hearing from you on Sound Off Sports. We'll see you next time here in the den at Fox 5 Studios. Brand new look, brand new feel, but the same old fun you've become accustomed to. So make sure you tune in, and we'll see you here next time from the den. I'm Mike Davis. That's James Edward Barrickman, the fourth, my main man. We'll see you next time here on SOS.